again, another close call, but it seems Lauren seems to say that these are you're okay. She's not frustrated. You're close. Is there some kind of I don't know silver lining to getting so close, or is it frustrating that you're still not over
Well,
that?
you play sport to win to some degree, so we want to have more wins notched. But with that said, we're playing the fourth toughest schedule in the country, so we're trying to keep that in perspective. And all but one of our matches, we've had opportunities to win. Now we've got to look why we're not being able to get that 1 or 2 points when necessary to win. And I think we've got some good leads on that, and I think we're going to continue to get better at that. So I love what I see out of this team. I think talent-wise we're there. I think we've got the offensive parity, the offensive firepower, the setting, the passing. I think we've got the pieces to really do some amazing things. But now it's not about peaking right now. It's about getting better each time we step on the court, and I think we're continuing to do that. I think the team's still bought into what we're doing and believes in what we can do. And as a coach, anyone that has coached, that's the biggest thing, that the team still understands that we're moving in the right direction. So we want to be better on Friday than we were on Tuesday against Kansas State, and that's the goal each time we step on the court.
I know you've got a couple matches on Friday, but Saturday night will be a big stage for this team to play Nebraska. What's this match mean to play the number one team?
Like you said, our focus is really on Gonzaga right now. I have not watched any Nebraska video. Obviously, we have some familiarity with their team just because it's in-state and we play them pretty regularly. I know they're playing really well. They seem to be, coming into the season firing on all cylinders, while I think a lot of the top teams are still working things out, and I think you see that with some of the decisive wins that they've had. Nebraska is one of the best atmospheres in the country. I love when we get to play Nebraska because we have so many local kids on the court. A lot of them know each other. And, I say this every year, but I think it's a celebration of how great volleyball is in this state.
Last year, Lauren said that match really set a measuring stick for this team to see how good you guys were when you played them at the CenturyLink. Could this be that match on Saturday night to kind of see where this team is?
I think sometimes my perception of that match might be different than the players a little bit. I think we're going and playing a great team. And I think right now Nebraska has established that they're the best team in the country, and by a significant margin, similar to Penn State a few years ago. Now, do I think that we're going to go and play great volleyball against them? Absolutely. And I think, again, I haven't looked at them very much to know how we match up and things along those lines. But I look forward to the opportunity. I think that it's a chance to see, we've played, two top 10 teams already. This will be a third. So, each time we're trying to see where we fit in on a national stage, and this is another opportunity to see that.
Does it give you not hope, but you know where I'm going to? Like, you've played top teams, you've played Nebraska. It's not like the off factor is gone. It's not there. Where maybe if this was somebody else that was number one and dominating, it would be. Is that a good thing, the familiarity?
I think it is good that there's some familiarity with our players, knowing some of their players. The fact that we've played them, if it was a Penn State of a couple years ago, we haven't played that. In my 13 years, we've never played Penn State. So you're starting from scratch in what you know. Anytime you play in front of that big of a crowd, you never know how your team's going to respond. Traditionally, our teams have done pretty well there and enjoyed that atmosphere. But each team is different, and we'll see on Saturday night. But again, I go back to Gonzaga's really good. Let's talk about Gonzaga, because that's the most important match of the season right now. And I mean that.
Kirsten, you talked about volleyball in the state. One of your former assistants has the number one team in NAIA.
Yeah.
What's that mean to see success like that, and just right here in Nebraska?
I was really fortunate to coach for 7 years with Paul, and what he's done at Midland is phenomenal. I learned a ton from him, and I'm not surprised at his success. I think people can, see that he's a great trainer, but trust that he's a good person. And, Paul and I text quite often, and, I'm a big Midland fan.
can't get to Nebraska until you play the first two teams on Friday. What have you
That's right,
seen? What have you seen on film?
Suck up.
What have you seen on film out of them that you think can challenge you, or some things that you think you might be able to have success with?
I only have watched a little bit of Gonzaga. We were focused on K-State, and then we've been watching ourselves a lot today. But I've seen a little bit. They kind of remind me of TCU, except that they're more outside oriented. But they run a 6-2. They're kind of good everywhere. They maybe don't quite have as much parity as TCU, but I think their outsides are really maybe a step above what we saw against TCU, that they have the ability to do some things out of system. And, again, I've watched about a game, so I'm just at the beginning stages of watching them, but I know they're good. I think they're a top 50 RPI team, and we're going to be needing to be ready to go.
What do you think about that 10 a.m. start? That's got to be kind of a challenge in itself as well, don't you think?
Yeah, I haven't thought about that, but we've done that. We'll do that sometimes on Saturdays.
Sure.
So we're going to go down early tomorrow. We'll practice in Lincoln tomorrow afternoon, and then we'll be ready to go on Friday morning.
I guess to a player, to a coach, you guys have all mentioned, really starting with that Kansas match where you were up 2-1, and then the last three sets were kind of up for grabs last night. A lot of focus on the little things, a lot of talk about the little things. As a team, have you guys been able to put your finger on which of those little things maybe are most important for this weekend that you'd like to see the team take a step forward in?
I don't think it's one thing. I think it's multiple things. We've watched a lot of film today. We've had a lot of players in watching film, and I think that's sometimes the best practice, that they can say, I'm seeing things different that I do in game 1 than I'm doing in game 3 or 4. And so that confidence that we're coming in with in a game, making sure that's continuing throughout the match. And, we've got, 4 kids that haven't played on our Creighton court very much, or in new positions and things along those lines. We're a work in progress, and to play tight gives us a lot of hope, but now we've got to get over the hump.
22-22 is always a big emphasis for you every single year. How close is this group at this point in the season to being where you like it late in the game?
Physically, when we are firing, like game 1 against Kansas State, we were incredible. We are not doing it consistently enough. So as far as where we are at moments, I think that we are incredible, but we've got to be able to do it every game and at end game, and that's what we've got to get better at.
Do you take a step back and look at, I know you don't like to compare teams to each other, but when you talk about the journey every year, is this team at a point where they should be along that journey to get to where you think they should be at the end of the year? Are they making enough progress at this point?
Absolutely, I really do. I think we're playing really good volleyball. I mean, one match is the Kentucky match is the only one that we did not have a legitimate shot at winning, and you can go back to why aren't we winning, and I think those are the things that we're trying to figure out and work on. But we have not been outclassed in any match, except I thought Kentucky played phenomenal against us. And so that includes some really good teams. So from a standpoint of what I believe this team can do, I feel more optimistic than I probably did at the beginning of preseason. But each team's got to determine how we handle these times of adversity, meaning losing some. How are we going to respond? And that's the challenge right now. And the good thing is that the players are buying in, they're working hard, they believe they're good. And if you have that sort of feel of a team, I think you can peak out, and that's obviously what we're trying to do.
Silver lining to all these close calls. I mean, you're so close to knocking off a giant. What's the silver lining in being so close?
Just the fact that it's so early on in the season. That just means that we're doing a lot of really great things, and hopefully we can fine-tune those in the gym.
How do you stay positive through it all, that knowing that if you keep working, it's going to turn around?
I just think it's all a mindset, and we started off with that mindset, and we knew that we were going to get challenged. So better earlier than later, and now we can just grow.
Lauren, what does it mean to play the #1 team in the country on Saturday night?
I mean, I don't really look at it like that. They're obviously very respectable and an awesome team, the work that they've done, but we just have to prepare for the next match, and that's on Friday. So.
But I mean, are you looking forward to that match on Saturday night?
Oh, yes, definitely. So.
And just kind of talk about facing them.
Well, I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska, and I have a lot of good friends on that team. I respect their program, and I think very highly of them. But I think it's a tribute to just what great volleyball the Midwest has, and it'll be a fun matchup.
If you look at it and like this is your last shot at them too, right? I mean, this has got to play into it for a point.
Yeah, well, I mean, these years have gone really fast, and just kind of leave everything else that I have out on the court.
Mm-hmm. Will you have a lot of friends and family there Saturday watching you?
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah.
They told me they're coming.
Do you guys get tickets to that? Do you get
Yeah,
tickets to away games?
yeah. So it'd just be like a visiting match.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
Hey,
Did you grow up going to the Coliseum and watching matches, or when you were in Lincoln, or what?
Yeah, I did. I went with my family growing up, and I think it sparked a love for volleyball, and then just working towards that. And now I play at Creighton, so it was a dream come true.
Last year, you guys played them pretty tough down at the CenturyLink. Did you learn something from that match?
Yeah, I believe so. It was one of our biggest matches. All the crowd that came out to support us at CenturyLink, and I think it really was a turning point for us to know what we needed to work on in order to get to the NCAA and then go as far as we did. So.
At this point, as a redshirt senior, do you feel like a politician with talking points is what it's like for a Lincoln kid to play Nebraska?
No, I enjoy it, and I mean, being from Lincoln, it's an honor and just something we get really fired up about. So.
I guess to a player, to a coach, throughout the non-conference, you guys have, talked about the little things as far as how you've come up short in some of these big matches. More specifically, what are those little things, and how close are you to, shoring them up and maybe getting a big win this weekend?
Yeah. Well, energy and effort and communication are all things that we can control, and I don't think those are lacking. But just the little plays and trusting ourselves and the things that we work on day in and day out, we're going to shore up in the next run here and hopefully get some of those big wins because, I mean, we can. We're really good. So.
Do you feel like that's the difference from what you've been able to see in, playing top teams? Do you think the difference between teams in the 20 to 30 range and the 10 to 15 range are the little things you guys have been stressing about?
I mean, everyone at the D1 level is very, very good. You have to come out every night and respect what they do and then stay true to your own system. So I think if we play the way that we're capable of playing, that we'll take care of the things that we need to and win together. So.
Yes, Coach always talks about the journey. You've been through a few of them. Do you feel like this team, the 2016 version of this group, is making the right progressions that they need to at this point in the season going forward?
Yeah, every year has been really unique, and I see something really special about this group of girls, just their grit and tenacity to work hard. So, I mean, I'm not worried at all, and I'm actually thrilled to get back in the gym and get better and compete as friends and teammates and show what we have to offer.
Do you find that losses like the one you experienced last night where, really all the last three sets, kind of came down to one player here or there, obviously dominated the first set, but do you feel like the hurt from that, the sting from that, this group takes losses differently than, groups in the past, and maybe that's, kind of their mindset?
Yeah, I think the only way to go is up, and if we were to dwell on that, we wouldn't see where we can get better, and we're going to bounce back with things that we learned. And I think it says a lot to the character of the girls, so they have heart and will never quit, so I'm not worried about that.
Does it help to face a rowdy crowd with the band slamming bleachers down while you're serving, knowing that you're going to probably face that on Saturday night?
Yeah, definitely. Well, wherever we go, a visiting team, if they bring a lot of energy, we love that. We love that atmosphere, and we take that energy and kind of thrive off of it. Even if they aren't our Creighton fans, we know that we have something out there to prove. So.
Thank you.